Just between the people at home and the people here. Oh wait, oh my gosh. No, oh, because I'm, okay. Whew. That was a lot of brain activity going on there. So I'm kind of looking at the same thing on their screen, but they have something different. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's read through the problem. So this is from the 20, I don't know, like a few years ago, the MCAS. It is something that pops up. Once again, you're going to see it's a lot of using the stuff that we did. That's why I kind of put it in. So Tony collected data on the years of employment and the annual salaries of the salespeople at Company Z. Delightful. So you can see everything's labeled. And we have years of employment here. So you guys have years of employment here. We have salary over on the side. We see a nice label. So if you're ever making your own graph, just make sure everything is labeled. So that's a big thing. Okay. He made a scatter plot. But so basically a scatter plot is we're going to just like plot points. And you can see on these points, they're not exactly in a row, but it kind of looks like a line. But it's just not perfect. And that's just life. Things aren't going to be perfect, and that's okay. He drew a trend line. So this is called a trend line right here. Some people also call it a line of best fit. So basically it's just like a general representation of that data. So it's not perfect, but you know, it kind of goes through the middle of your point. So you're good. That approximated the line of best fit, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fabulous. So let's look at A. Sorry, I'm trying to do this on the board for the people here and on this first one. Okay, so A says, based on the trend line drawn for the data, what is the salary of a salesperson with 3 years of employment at Company Z can expect to earn? Show or explain how you got your answer. So I'm going to go to the board for a minute and then I'll come back to this. So once again, this is just reading a graph, so this is kind of good just going back, and it's been a while maybe since we've done this. So once again, we're looking at the line. It says the salary of a salesperson with 3 years of employment. So in general, I'm just going to go to where it says years of employment 3, and I'm going to follow it up to my line and then kind of follow it over, and that will give me a good estimate. So my estimate, I'm going to say, is about $40,000. Okay, let me just do that for the people at home, so everything I'm going to have to do twice today. Stinking graphing. Okay, so what we're doing, sorry, you might have just heard me explain it, is we're just using our graph where it says years of employment. They were at 3, so I'm going to go to where 3 is. I'm going to follow it up to my trend line, because that's about the line of best fit. And then I'm going to follow it over to estimate what about my salary would be. So he said it would be about $40,000. Once again, it's not perfect, but it's a good estimate. Any problems at home or any questions? That's okay. Perfect. Okay. So sorry, because I'm going to have to repeat everything twice, and that's highly irritating, but oh well. There's never a time that we're all together. So this is what we got to do. All right. B, what is the slope of the trend line? Ooh, how exciting. That Tony drew. Show or explain how you got your answers. So when you're finding the slope, do not just like kind of, it's hard to do rise over, well, I guess it's not that hard to do rise over run, I can do that. What you want to do is pick 2 points that it goes through exactly. So you don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to find the slope between like this point and that point. See how it exactly goes through this point? And it exactly goes through that point, it looks like. I'm going to find the slope between those two. So don't just kind of pick random things. These can get a little tricky with fractions. So pick 2 exact points that it's going through and then find the slope. You can do rise over run, just be careful with the scale. So I'm actually just going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is the point 750,000. And this, sorry for the people at home, and this is the point 340,000. So can you find the slope between those 2 points? Once again, you can do rise over run, just be careful with the skin. So at home, what we're talking about, sorry. So as I'm finding the slope of this, I really want to find 2 points that it goes through exactly. So it looks like it goes through this point exactly. I kind of used that point in the last one. And that looks like it's exactly through that point. So like this point is great, but it's not really on that line, it's kind of off of it a little. So we do want things, or we want to try to get things exactly through the line. So we said, I picked those 2 points, which were 3 comma 40,000. And then that one was 7 comma 50,000. So that's what I want to try to find the slope between. Once again, you can count rise over run, just be careful with the scale, obviously it's not by ones. So you can go from there. So as we did it, what did you get? So that if I did y2 minus y1, that would give me $10,000 over x2 minus x1 over 4. So that would give me what, 2,500? Would be your slope.
Wouldn't it be negative 2,500?
No, because if you subtracted, did you do 50 minus 40? Or 40 minus 50?
Yeah.
Because then 3 minus 7 would also be negative, so 2 negatives would make a positive.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, that's fine. I wrote them a different way in there. So once again, for you guys, sorry, doubling up on everything. Y2 minus y1, once again, if you did it in that order, you get negative 10,000. Once again, the order doesn't really matter as long as you keep it consistent. And then that would give me negative 4, so that would give me positive 2,500.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, what's up?
So for letter A, I went to print the paper, how did we get 10,000?
For A,
Yeah,
the answer is 40,000.
oh, my bad, from here it looks like 10,000.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. Yeah, feel free to zoom in.
There you go, thank you.
A little closer there you go. Okay, this is like a workout here, going back and forth. What does the slope mean? So I just found 2,500 is the slope, is the rise over run. Can anyone explain to me what that actually means? $2,500. Yeah, Christian.
You get an increase of $2,500 each year.
Perfect, yeah, so that's all it means. So if you couldn't hear that at home, we're just saying that every year that you work there, you're increasing 2,500, right? You're rising 2,500 and running 1. So the slope means, on average, right? So this isn't perfect, but it's about a $2,500 per year raise in salary. So remember, when we're talking about an actual problem, there's context now, so we actually want to think about what things mean. So once again, it means there's a $2,500 per year. That's the big thing, the per year raise in salary. Okay, so just a lot of kind of looking at what you got. You guys have seen graphs before, but we just want to make sure, since it's not perfect, we understand what things are meaning. All right, so then the last one, let me just show it to the people at home. You guys have it in front of you. Tony expects his salary to be about $70,000 after he has been employed as a salesperson at Company Z for 15 years. Oh, good for him. Use the trend line in your answer from Part B to explain why Tony's salary expectation is reasonable. So one, I guess we would have to extend the trend line, right? Because it doesn't even go up to 15. Okay, so I guess you could do that if you really wanted to. That seems kind of annoying to me because I'd have to I can move this over a few and then kind of say, oh, that would go be up here. That seems about right. If you moved over 5 more units. But let's think about that $2,500 per year raise. So at year 10, it looks like the average is about 55. No. Well, I guess at year 9 is 55,000, right? Sorry, I'm trying, oh my gosh, I'm never graphing again. You guys might benefit from this because I really hate doing this both ways. So sorry. It actually gave me a point. It gave me the 0.9, 55,000. So after year 9, I'm at 55,000. If I raise 2,500 per year, I'm just grabbing my calculator because I'm feeling a little lazy. If I have 55,000 and I add 2,500 a year for 6 years? Oh, that brings me to exactly perfection. So basically I can use my slope to predict. You could try to kind of move that graph over, but once again, you'd have to extend the X, which is kind of annoying to me. But I said, at year 9, the average or the thing was 55,000, right? So I said, if at year 9, at year 15, that means I'm just taking that base and I'm adding 2,500 per year, and between that and that is 6 years. And that would actually give me exactly $70,000. So Tony made a good estimate. Once again, you guys are gonna do this at once. This is like way too much work. So once again, you could kind of extend that over and show it, or I just said, hey, year 9 is 55,000. So at year 15, if I'm adding 2,500 per year, there's 6 years between 9 and 15, so 2,500 plus 6, and that would give me about $70,000. Now remember, when you do an MCAS, the main thing they want to see is your work and your explanation. So I just showed my work. I would probably want to explain a little bit more if I was actually on the MCAS, because your main goal on MCAS is just to get as many points as you can so you pass. And then if you do pass, sometimes if you get a really high score, you get some scholarships. So you really do want to try your hardest. It might benefit you in the long run. One of the scholarships is if you go to any state school, you can just get free tuition, which is a pretty good deal. So I know, like, we go into MCAS, like, MCAS, because you guys have taken it a million times in your life. But in high school, you want to take it seriously because it could benefit you. In general, don't worry about you guys passing MCAS. You should pass. But having that little, maybe I could get free tuition somewhere. That's pretty legit. Tuition's expensive. Okay, so I'm gonna flip to the back. The people here have this, the people at home, you're kind of looking, or I did attach it today. So we're gonna do this in steps. So for example 2, it says, the table shows the number of full-time employees at 8 guitar production companies and the number of guitars produced by each company. So I don't really care that there's 8 guitar companies. So we can see the number of full-time employees and the number of guitars produced, so at each company. Fabulous. On the grid, in your student answer booklet, once again, I took this exactly from the MCAS. Copy the title to access, so you don't need it. Well, you are copying it if you don't have this printed, but if you have it in front of you, you're good. So right now, on the grid, can everyone create a scatter plot using the data from the table? AKA, can you just plot each of those points? So everyone do that now. So you have points up here, right? This is the point 398, 5, 189. So can you plot your points? So I'm gonna plot mine. And maybe I'm just gonna try to show them this because then it's really just not beautiful, but let me zoom this. We'll do our best here. Okay, so I'm doing mine at the same time, so you're just plotting points. And once again, if it's not perfect, you just kind of estimate where it is. Being not perfect is totally fine. Oh, this looks so terrible. Okay. So I'm trying to do it at both. That really doesn't look nice on the board at school. I want to do this so you can see it at the same time. This week? How should we plot it on the computer? I mean, you can't, so you have to either just copy it into the notebook or something. Yeah, I know, I like put it so you could edit it, and I was like, yeah, there's no real way to make that too beautiful. We're just gonna do our best here because I've given up doing it double, so I'm making my dots a little darker.
The glare is really bad.
It's so bad, I know, that's why there's just no way to like do it both ways. I'm just gonna, it's like never gonna graph again, I've decided, even though it's not possible, but I just really hate it. Okay, so people here, you'll just bear with me, I can put it up in a second. On your scatter plot, draw a line of best fit. So here's where it gets a little funky. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna. So confused with this technology right now. Whew. So, what you want to do is you want a ruler, or you want something. I don't really have, so if you guys don't have a ruler, grab one. At home, you just need something straight. So I'm just going to show them, and then I'll show you guys quick. As you draw a trend line, do not just like sit and draw a line. That's not going to help you. You need the line to go through 2 points. So what I do is I hold it up vertical like this. So see, you have a good like idea of what's happening. You want your line to kind of be like right through the middle. So you want like if you're looking at it, you have a few points above, a few points below. You don't want to put a line there because everything's above it. You don't want to put a line there because everything's below it. So you really want it in the middle. The thing about this is we all might choose different points, which is kind of annoying, but that's just life. So I'm going to choose, well, I'll choose the same points for this one, but on the MCAS, it might be a little different. So I'm going to put it up. I'm going to put mine through the point. I don't want to move that, sorry. I'm going to put mine right. I'm really struggling right now. This is way harder than it looks. To make it beautiful. I'm going to say that looks pretty good. Even though everything's really blue up of it. We'll do like that. Okay, we'll do like that. We'll do that. Well, that looks like a pretty good representation. You have some above, you have some below. I'll do it on the board in a second because I know this is like terrible conditions right now, but we'll go with it. The main thing is I wanted to go through 2 points. The 2 points I picked was 6, 235. And 8, 309. Okay, so give me a second, people at home. I need to do it on the board here. Whew. Now I can't see everything. Oh no. Sorry, I'm used to using Word, and now I'm not using Word, and now I can't see everything, and now I just want to poke my eyeballs out. Okay, here we go. I'll have to come up with some other way to graph in the future, because this is just kind of a mess. So you guys did your things quick. I have a whole bunch of points. I have 5 or 8 points, right? What was it? 5, 189, 6, 235, 8, 309. God, I cannot keep track here. 8, 336. I'll put that kind of above that. 10, 4, 12, 13, 4, 94, okay. And then 18 is 692. Okay, so something about like that-ish, kind of. All right, so the main goal, and it's gonna be kind of hard, so I'm looking at a little ruler here. So give me a second at home. You kind of want to hold your ruler up, and you want as many points kind of above it as below it. So you don't want like up here, because then everything will be below it. You don't want down here, because everything's above it. You really want it to go right through the middle of the points. So I had picked the point 6, the 6 and the 8. So I picked this point and kind of this point, I think. Because then as I'm connecting, and once again, mine's going to be semi-terrible. it looks like a pretty good representation. That one's a little bit far, but there's a few points above it, there's a few points below it. You want it to kind of go right through the middle there. We can kind of say our little outliers, I guess. If yours was a little bit lower, that's fine. The big thing about these is there's no right or wrong. So if yours is a little different, that's perfectly fine. This is why this is like the most annoying type of problem to correct. Because everyone can pick different points and then Mr. Sherman goes crazy. So this will not be on an assessment. It's more, I just wanted to show it to you because this is from the 2018 MCAS. So it's not like you're never going to see it again. So once again, kind of annoying. It is what it is. We could all pick different points. I picked the point 6,235 and then 8,309. So that's what I'm going to use to kind of do the rest of them. Once again, if you're kind of doing it on your own, you didn't pick those points and yours looks a little different, that's okay. It's just yours might, our answers might be off a little bit. So on C, where it says write an equation that represents the line of best fit that you drew in part B, basically I'm just going to use these 2 points, that 6,235 and 8,309, to write an equation. So it doesn't say a specific form, which always drives me nuts. So I guess you can write it in whatever form you please. I'm going to write it in slope-intercept because I feel like usually when you have something with context, slope-intercept is usually where you get it from. So right now, can everyone, let's just use these points just to kind of keep it consistent. Can everyone find the slope of those 2 points? So I'm just going to do my work up here. If you're getting a decimal, that's okay. You can keep it as a decimal just because this is, we're just estimating. Oh, actually, that wouldn't be too bad. Everyone's finding the slope. What's it, 74 over 2, which comes up to 57. Okay, so we have our slope, it's 37. If you ever notice there's this an annoying point, like a weird decimal or fraction, just don't pick that one. So I always just kind of pick numbers that look semi-decent. Okay, so now that I have the slope, I'm gonna find the y-intercept. I'm just gonna do it in slope-intercept. Once again, it doesn't really specify, but we'll kind of keep it there with graph stuff. So I'm gonna do point slope and then rearrange it. So I'll pick the first point, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. And I'm just going to do a little bit of rearranging to solve that. I have my handy dandy calculator here. I'm going to go to that on the board. Sorry, everything I'm doing today, I'm doubling. Okay. So what I did is I just chose that point and that slope, and I did point slope. Technically, it doesn't say a form, so I guess you could keep it like that. But I like slope intercept when we're talking about graphs because it makes a little more sense just in my brain here. Remember, your main thing is if you need it in a different form, just put it in one and then rearrange it. Okay, so I got y equals 37x plus 13. Okay, seems like a decent equation. And finally at the end here. Use your equation to estimate the number of full-time employees needed if the company plans to produce 1,000 guitars in a year. Show or explain how you got your answer. The main thing on this is that you label. This is the x-axis, right? So for us, this is the x-axis. So x represents the number of employees. Y represents on the y-axis the number of guitars. So when you think about them saying they want to produce 1,000 guitars, that means they're telling us they want their Y to be 1,000. So that's really just about labeling. So let me show it to you here. So this is my x-axis, right? So x is number of employees. So that's just about reading and kind of labeling what you have and knowing where things go. I feel like a lot of people might put that 1,000 in for X, but that doesn't make sense. That means 1,000 employees. Y on the y-axis is number of guitars. So when they say they want 1,000, why am I putting money here? When they want 1,000 guitars, that means they know Y. So when I'm thinking about my equation, y equals 37x plus 13, I'm making the y 1,000, and then I'm solving for x. So once again, that one was a little tricky because I feel like they want you to just be like, oh, just throw 1,000 into the equation, and you put it in for x just out of habit. But no, you put 1,000 in for y, and we need to find x. And that was all just about labeling and reading your graph. So let's actually solve it. If I subtract 13, 987 equals 37x. So I'm kind of squishing myself on the paper here. And then x, when I divide that out, it comes out to like 26.67. So I'm going to say they would need 27 employees. All right, so once again, this is an exact problem from an MCAS, so it is something you might see in the future. My main goal is to just kind of expose you to it. So this will not be on an assessment. As much as fun as it is, one, they're just kind of annoying to do. I'll be with you on that one. Two, if we all picked different values or different points, everything comes out different, and I'm gonna be honest, I just don't have the energy to do it, and then I'm doing them. I'm trying to do things online. It's a big pain in the butt. So it's there. You've seen it. You've been exposed to it. It wasn't necessarily the hardest math, which was nice. A lot of it was just being able to draw, aka just plot some points. Just know what a trend line is. It's really just a line of best fit, so kind of a line through the middle. It's like 26, wait, what did I just do wrong? That's not 963, that's 987. Where did I even get that from? Hold on. 1 second. That's okay. I do. Okay. That's okay. Tommy, your dad left something for you, and he says you need it now, so you can go to the office and grab it.
Alright.
Oh, sorry, so this came out to 26.67, so we said 27. Okay. Oh my gosh, get me done with this graphing junk. Okay. Woo! Alright, so I just did double those problems. But now you kind of, hopefully, get the idea. Yes?
Can I have the bathroom?
Yeah, go. Scatter plots just mean points. A lot of times it's data. Through it, you can draw a trend line because it's not perfectly straight, but it's kind of a linear pattern. So you just do your best to draw your line. From that line, you can do everything that we've been doing. So this is all review stuff over here, finding the slope, writing an equation, and maybe plugging into that equation. So fun stuff. As much as that was a blast. I'm over graphing, even though I know we have a whole graphing section coming up. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with you guys. So I'll take that down. Okay. Fabulous. So let me take this off. Oh my God. Oh no.